In our area, they're very pro-police. They have our backs. Agency executives are great. County administration, county prosecutors, they're really great. They give us the tools. But with this product, it really, not only does it give us the tools, but it's delivering it in a manageable system.
I always love when we have one of my homeboys here, another Jersey guy, and you'll be able to tell from the accent immediately. Joe, man, thanks for taking the trip up. You're still active, right? You're cop
Yes,
right now.
15 years.
And you also work with a company that is saving police lives in a very, very different way, right? Through education.
Correct.
So let's talk a little bit about you, your background, the company. Let's dive right in.
I'm a municipal police sergeant in Bergen County, New Jersey. Been there for 15 years. And last fall, I accepted a position with Blue 360 Media.
Okay. What is Blue 360 Media?
Blue 360 Media, it's a publishing company, and we focus on law books and guidelines for different agencies. We were formerly LexisNexis.
Okay.
And then last year, a group of executives and investors got together and created Blue 360 Media. So we've really been taking our products that we've had all along, really just revamped them and approached a little differently with online mobile apps and ebooks.
Now, this doesn't exactly seem like the kind of fun reading material that you're just going to pick up a book when you're on vacation and read, but there's a tremendous amount of power in this information that you have. So let's talk about what that looks like and why it's so crucial that we have agencies all across the country that are using it.
Correct. We're currently in 48 states for our legal publications, all 50 states with our officer series. And basically, the company as a whole saw a gap that needed to be bridged with the way officers receive their information and their legal updates. And it's something that was really overlooked by a lot of agencies. I mean, at our core, we're there to enforce the law. So we really have to be updated and well versed on the laws.
Sure.
Because they're constantly changing. Each state has different legislative schedules, different guidelines that have to be followed. So what we were seeing was a trend. Police recruits in the academy would buy their books. They would read them in the police academy. Sometimes they would make it to the patrol bag for a couple months and then find their way on the shelf where they would never be updated again.
Yep.
Agencies would purchase 1 or 2 copies for their detective bureau, their front desk, and if you had a question, you would refer back to it. We saw that needed to change. And in today's society where everybody's walking around with a smartphone, they're Googling information. And we found that a lot of officers were Googling information when they needed to know the answer to something.
Sure.
The problem with that is we don't know where it's coming from.
Right.
And we're making decisions based on people's lives, their rights, our careers, our agency's reputations. So we had to get it to a point where we could look up the information, but it's validated information based off of publications that are used in the courts and in the police departments. So that's why Blue 360 really took a turn away from the print publication, which we still do for certain agencies and certain court systems, but we went to a mobile app and a digital ebook that can be used when you don't have internet service, and it's completely searchable. So if you have a question or you have to refer to something or there's a legislative change, everybody used to get memos through their office administration, and if you heard about it again, you would think, okay, I remember seeing that, and then you couldn't find it. And if you had to refer back to it, this is just a great way to do it.
Sure.
And it's really just putting it out there, and everybody can really just use it, and it's a really good product.
You know, when you and I first chatted, I thought about all of the math classes that I took in high school, right? Like, I nailed it to be able to take the test and graduate, but then you get into real world applications, and you're right, man, everybody's relying on our smartphone to be able to have that data at our fingertips. So I think about how I was at the airport a few weeks ago. Actually, I think I was in Utah, where you guys are headquartered, right?
Okay, Park City.
And this guy is waiting to go through security, and he is giving them so much grief. He said, I don't have to show you an ID because I'm a sovereign citizen. Now, listen, when I saw him, I wanted to punch him in the throat, but I'm a good Christian, and so I figured maybe I'll just let somebody else do that. But when you have all of these people who are manipulating the law, the need to have that law at your fingertips without having to check back in those old channels, it's got to be crucial. So let's talk a little bit about how you guys stay updated on this, because there are constantly changing laws. How do you stay on the cutting edge and make sure that you're up to date on everything?
We actually have a full-service legal team. We have full-time attorneys that are, carry their certifications in bars in different states. And they're constantly monitoring the state legislative schedule. But it's very time-consuming, and it's very tedious because each state is different. I know for New Jersey, we have a continuous legislative schedule. So every month, something new could come out, where in other states, it's like biannually or annually. So they just monitor, they take the changes, they apply them. Like I said, it's very good because it's based off of our publications, which is important because once you start taking a law or a guideline, you can't really manipulate it, and you can't really decipher it. You have to kind of take it the way it's supposed to be written, which is why it's much better to use something that's coming from a legal professional than like the App Store.
Yep.
Because you run into those famous words, may and must.
Yep.
That can go two totally different ways and be a really good day or a really bad day for all involved.
Well, I mean, let's keep in mind too that as a law officer, you have discretion in whether or not you apply, the full weight of the law. This material doesn't take that away. It simply makes it easier for you to make a determination on the best interest of the community. Is that fair to say?
Correct. If it says something like may, you know exactly what you have to do, what you could do, and you keep everybody's best interest. It is very handy. It's something that we just, being a police officer and being in situations where, the game has changed over the last 15 years.
Yep.
Not that officers were, egregiously violating people's rights, but we just had a different approach to do things. Like if we were unsure about something in a situation 15, 20 years ago, we would take the person, bring them into police headquarters and figure it out.
Yep.
You're not doing that anymore.
Right.
1, it's illegal.
Yep.
2, it's not right. 3, everybody's a smartphone. We're cameraed up, we're wired up. You just can't do it.
Right.
So, we ran into a situation one day that, to make a long story short, we stopped a driver. He had a stun gun on him. He was from Pennsylvania. He was transporting it. Wasn't committing a crime, didn't do anything improper with it. The question came up, can he have it? That's something that in New Jersey, over the last few years, they've been going back and forth. We've had a couple different attorney generals prior to ours now. They came out with directives and memorandums of understanding and different stuff regarding it. So we weren't really sure. And when it happened, we didn't have the book with us.
Sure.
And, it was the perfect storm, 11 o'clock at night on the weekend, skeleton shift. So long story short, we made a couple phone calls to our legal advisors in the prosecutor's office who they're assigned each municipality. So 35 minutes later, 3 phone calls later, the guy was sent on his way, and we obtained the information.
Did you also obtain a new stun gun for the department?
No, he was actually good because he wasn't committing a crime and he was just transporting it. But with this Blue 360 media product, we could have had him out of there in 35 seconds.
Sure. Well, I mean, listen, there's a huge benefit for the civilian population, but there's also a benefit to covering your own butts.
Definitely.
So when we see, again, you aren't the only ones with a smartphone now. Everybody has this, and everybody's filming it, and everybody wants to make cops look bad by sending that 7-second out-of-context clip to the local media who's going to run it again and again and again to humiliate police officers. This gives you an added layer of protection. Fair?
Totally fair. It really, it's a sense of comfort, and it's a sense of confidence, and it's just manageable because, a lot of, for the most part, I'm just going to speak for New Jersey agencies. In our area, they're very pro-police. They have our backs. Agency executives are great. County administration, county prosecutors, they're really great. They give us the tools to operate. But with this product, it really, not only does it give us the tools, but it's delivering it in a manageable system.
When I look at certain states with certain attorneys general, cough, cough, Massachusetts, that say that they're not going to be enforcing certain areas of the law anymore. The Mass Attorney General just came out with 15 violations that she said, we're not going to prosecute this. Does that put law enforcement and the court system at odds? And how do you balance that as a police officer who's on the street just trying to keep people safe?
I mean, it does present a challenge. I can't really speak for Massachusetts because I'm not an officer there.
Well, that's why I didn't put you on the spot with Jersey.
I do know, as far as New Jersey goes, just with different laws and guidelines, New Jersey is one of the strictest states in the country. With that being said, it takes away a lot of discretion, but it also provides us with a lot of guidelines that when we do carry them out, it's really better for everybody.
Sure.
It's better for the officer, it's better for the civilian, and it just really maps out an understanding, and we really just operate much more effectively.
How can people learn more? Departments, agencies, anybody that's
Departments,
watching?
agencies, anybody that's watching, you could go on to Blue 360 Media, and you could go on our website, and we have lots of different publications that range, like I said earlier, from law manuals and motor vehicle guidelines and booklets to also an officer series where we've really been trying to expand on the different issues that we're having as a nation in our law enforcement communities. We have publications on active threat, all the way down to a new publication that was co-written by a police officer and a firefighter on how to deal with special needs.
Oh, wow.
And, that's something that we're seeing a lot more of.
Sure.
And that law enforcement, we really stepped it up and we're beginning to understand more, where, years ago that was a challenge for us.
Yeah.
So it's just some really good information.
We had a case up here in our area recently, probably a couple of years ago now, where there was a potential hostage situation, but it was the guy had special needs, and having that knowledge and education and understanding for how to deal with different people of different backgrounds with different disabilities is crucial. So it's great to see you guys rolling content like that.
Yeah, it definitely comes out. And if anybody's interested in purchasing online purchases, we did set something up for law enforcement today.
Awesome.
So under the discount thing, it's LET free shipping.
Awesome.
And good to go, no shipping.
Excellent. Anything that we need up here, I'm just going to have you drive it up here, and I think that could.
Gladly, it's a great place. I don't mind taking a ride.
Brother, thank you for coming out.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Guys, thank you all for hitting the share button on this video. The more education we can pass along, the better it is for everybody. So thanks for watching. God bless America.